Hey, it's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China. Today we have a question from our friend I Am Kai, who says, Hi Ramsey, I've recently had a falling out with my MMA gym. It was over if I get to tap out in my first BJJ class. I've done striking-based classes and a few wrestling-related classes, so in the said first BJJ class I was asked by a senior member to spar, and so we rolled. After a bit of rolling, I was under a side mount, naturally as I'm new to this. Then he shoulder squashed me in the chest for a while, and I was in pain, and I could not get out of, I was out of breath. So I gave up and I tapped after a bit. To my amazement, he didn't let me go. Okay, that's problematic. I'll get into that in a bit. And he started to argue with me, saying, I'm not done. This repeated in two more different positions in what feels like ages. Mind you, still in the same role, and I'm long past exhaustion. He got into a rear naked choke and choked me out, ignoring my tap before he got his satisfying crush. Now, after he choked me out, he let me go. The coach seems to have no issue with any of it. Most of my friends think it's assault not stopping after the tap. And I do understand that I was not in a perfect hold. But I had nothing left, and I was losing the lights in my eyes. The gym response to my Facebook post, which I wrote about this, was not apologetic, and they suggest that I should be quiet. And it was normal for them to decide when to stop. Is this mad normal for MMA? That's a bad training partner, man. Especially if you're starting out. Now, I've had this experience a bunch of times when rolling with a new guy and getting him in a compromising position, not a submission, but an uncomfortable position where they tap out. And you know what I do when that happens? I let go. Because tapping out is what is normal in MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is this understanding that when the other guy taps out, you let go. When the other guy gives up, you let go. You do this in training. A fight is different. In an MMA fight, you don't let go when the other guy taps. You let go when the referee tells you to stop. And here's why. Because in an MMA fight, sometimes the guy will tap and the referee won't see it. And you will let go and he will keep fighting, and then he'll beat you. And you don't want that. So you let go when the referee tells you to stop, unless you are 100% sure that the action is over. I've seen far too many times where fighters are screwed over because the referee didn't see that tiny little tap. Guy might be under you, might with two fingers go like this, just out of view of the referee. And then they let go, and they spring on top of you, and then they choke you out. But that's not what we're talking about here. In the gym, you got to respect that tap. That is sacred. That is law. If I have a new guy under me in side control, and I'm putting some pressure on him, and he taps, I have to understand he might be tapping out because he's simply uncomfortable. He might be tapping out because he's wimpy and he's not used to this. And that's okay. That's what we expect from you guys on day one. That's what we expect from you guys for a while. Sometimes it takes a very long time to get past that phase. If these senior members want to hunt for that submission so bad, they should really be rolling with somebody a little more experienced. And if they want the satisfaction of winning so bad, go after a more dangerous prey, if you will, someone who actually has the capacity to potentially beat them. And then you can have the satisfaction of thinking, oh, that was a good roll. I earned that tap. In the gym, you have to understand there's no winning and there's no losing. There is learning. And guys who do not understand that, oh man, they bug me to death. So this guy disrespected you, my friend. And in my estimation, he disrespected the art of jiu-jitsu. I watched a black belt test, a video of a black belt test that was put up online. And there was this really tough brown belt. He's rolling with all the black belts in the gym, one after the other. And there were a couple of points where he tapped. And instead of just letting go and starting over, they would release the submission but keep the position and then go for another one. And that's a drill that I like. I love that one. Because it forces you to keep working and keep working out of bad positions. Now, if they had laid out, this is the specific drill we are doing, we're going to roll. If there's a tap, then we will release the hold but keep the position and keep fighting from that position. That's another thing. But it doesn't sound like that was what was going on either. You were tapping because you couldn't breathe, the lights were going out, you felt like you were legitimately in trouble. And maybe these other guys, from their perspective, might have thought, oh, well, he's not really in trouble. I can keep going. I can teach him more. Maybe that was their goal. But they approached that goal very poorly. Instead, what they did was, looks like they created an enemy, to be quite honest. Especially when you talked about this publicly and they tried to shut you up about it. Try to tell you, shh, make it go away. Just get out of here. No more. I hate it when people try to excuse bad behavior. Now, it's a small thing in the short run, but it's a big thing in the long run because it's an indicator of an attitude. It's an indicator of the priorities of this particular gym. Not every gym is the same. Some coaches are bad coaches. Some training partners are terrible and dangerous training partners. A good indicator of which ones are good and which ones are not. Do they respect the tap or not? Thanks for the question. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments down below or email me at ramseydewey@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. Now get out there and train.